Asante sana bwana PCS. Tafadhali tunaweza kuketi chini. Wakenya wenzangu hamjambo? Good evening. How are you guys? Very good. Kwanza niongee Kiswahili, Kiingereza ama nini? Nichanganye? Yeah. Let me first take this opportunity to, in a very special way, thank all of you. First, for giving me and my team an opportunity to lead our great country called Kenya. It is an honor and privilege to lead an important country like Kenya, and I don't take it for granted. I know many of you voted for me, many of you prayed for me, many of you voted for my competitor, but today we are standing here as one people, the people of Kenya. Let me tell you this. I have a problem with people who don't vote. I have no problem with any Kenyan who votes for anybody, because it is through voting and through a competition that we get the best for our country so that we can move forward. So congratulations to all of you, and I want to assure you that because of the opportunity that you have given us, we want to make you proud. We want to change our country. The one thing I will tell you is that it's not going to be business as usual. It's going to be different. Are we together? Yes. Because you know, for a very long time in Kenya, Kenya has been said to be a country of great potential, which it is. But we have failed to unlock that potential, not because the citizens don't want, but because the leaders have not done their part. Many a times, listen, many times we know what is right, but sometimes it's not politically convenient to do it. So we escape doing what is right and going for what is politically right. I want to tell you, I am going to do what is right. As to whether it is convenient politically, as to whether it is popular, that is secondary to me. We must do the right thing so that we can take our country to its rightful place. All of us here, we agree that Kenya is a great place. That I believe with the whole of my heart. And I believe we can change Kenya in our lifetime. While we are here, all of us, Kenya can be that country that everybody wants to call home. And that is what we are going to do. So to you who are here today, I am very proud to be in your midst. I am very proud to be a Kenyan, and I believe together we can change this country. And so, I know there are so many things that I would have wanted to say, but I will reduce it to 3 things. Lakini sio ile mambo matatu. Yeah? Sio ile mambo matatu. Number 1, my mission is to achieve 3 things, simply. Number 1 is to unite our country, to unite Kenya. You know, we went to the polls, we had a competition, we were told there is something called deep state, We were told there is something called system, but the people of Kenya decided. And because the people of Kenya have decided, we have no option but today to work together as leaders from the different formations, as Kenyans, from all the communities, as people from different faiths, knowing all of us that we are one people, belonging to one nation and having one destiny. That we must do. And it is the reason why you find us here in this meeting, not as Kenya Kwanza or Azimio. We are here as Kenyans. Today, we work together. We work together as leaders. We Kenyan, to make sure that we have a country that we are proud of. And I'm going to do three things that is in our manifesto. Number one, we're going to make sure that we invest appropriately and correctly in agriculture. When I came into office, I said we are not going to subsidize consumption. We are going to invest in production. The price of unga a year and a half ago was 220. Today, it is 100 shillings because we invested correctly. We are continue to invest in that space, in making sure that our dairy, our horticulture, our agriculture in general has the necessary support to make sure that we enhance our production. Let me give you an example. We spend 500 billion every year to import food items into Kenya. We import maize, wheat, edible oil, rice, and all manner of things. And I have made the decision that we are going to invest in production. By next year, we will not be importing a grain of maize. We will move on to rice. We will move on to wheat. And in 5 years, the $1 billion we use to import edible oil, I want to make sure that sunflower, soya, canola, palm oil are all grown in Kenya, and we don't have to import again. Already, last year, we've started the journey on soya and sunflower. We are on course on canola. We've already gotten the seeds, and it is going to help us as a country reduce the foreign exchange that we use to import food when we can actually produce that food in Kenya. Tunaelewana? Number two is education. We need to make sure that our education is accessible, is affordable, and is relevant. And that is the reason why we have changed the funding model of our education. It wasn't working. Many of you, if you are following events in Kenya, most of our universities were struggling because they didn't have money. Because we promised them 80% scholarship, we gave them 40%, and we did nothing about it. We have changed the model, and we are going to make sure that our education is fit for purpose, equips the most important asset we have, our human capital, and to make sure that it works for Kenya and it works for where we want to, the partners that we want to work with as we deploy our labor in many parts of the world. We are spending at the moment $5 billion every year on education. $5 billion US. And we want to make sure that investment has a payback. So we are sorting out education, making sure that our education, as I said, is accessible, is affordable, and is relevant. Number three, I'm talking about cost of living. Number three, we are going to make sure that we deal with our health delivery mechanism. Why? About 1 million Kenyans every year end up in poverty because of hospital bills. I know many of you guys seated here, occasionally you are asked to pay hospital bills. True or not true? All the time. Not occasionally. I want to help you sort out that space. And what we have said is the following. We have changed the law in Kenya for delivery of health. It was not working. So we now have 4 pieces of legislation, new legislation, to make sure that we deliver universal health. We want to make sure that every Kenyan has a health insurance facility. Every Kenyan. You people who live in this country know the value of health insurance. You know that if you don't have health insurance, you are in trouble. True or not true? And that is why you hear people in Kenya calling me names, including the Zakayo you hear. Because, and I have said I don't mind being Zakayo. I don't mind. So long as we sort out our country, I have no problem. Are we together? So we want to make sure. And I have said that those who, let me put it this way, we are going to pay for health insurance on the basis of one's income. You know? The more you pay, the more you earn, the more you pay. And that is why we are saying those who cannot afford, we're going to make sure that the government of Kenya pays for them. We have said the people who are paying 500 shillings, we will do an assessment of their ability. And those whose assessment is lower, we will reduce that to about 300 shillings. And we are going to make sure that every citizen has access to health. I'm very proud of Susan Akomicha. She is in our midst, this girl here. She's doing a good job. And her team. So we are working on that. We're going to sort out that health. If we sort out health, we sort out education, and we sort out agriculture and have enough food, we will begin the journey to spend less in that space by making sure that we reduce the cost of living. That is assignment number 2 that I have. Assignment number 3 is to create jobs. Because we have close to 5 million Kenyans who don't have jobs. Our own children, Kenyans out of school, Kenyans out of college, Kenyans out of university, and they don't have jobs. And you see, for a long time, we always said we are going to grow the economy, and then the economy is going to create jobs. This time round, we must be intentional. We must be deliberate on creating jobs. Yeah? Some of you here may have run away from Kenya because there was no job, because you didn't have a job. Many of you are, yeah? True or not true? Yes. So, we must be intentional. And how are we going to create jobs? Let me give you 5 ways we are planning to create jobs in Kenya. Because, and we want to be judged. You know, this story, kuongea tu hewa, and then there is nothing. Tunaelewana? So number 1, we are going to invest in infrastructure that creates jobs. One of them is housing. Yeah? Already, as I talk to you, there are 140,000 Kenyans today who work in our housing sector who did not have jobs a year ago. It is my intention that by the 3rd year, we will have 500,000 Kenyans working in that space. And we will also create 1 million homeowners in the next 5 years. And among those homeowners are you guys who are seated here. Yeah, among those 1 million homeowners is the guys who are seated here. And so, that space, when I talk about housing, we're talking about engineers, we are talking about architects, we are talking about quantity surveyors, we're talking about electricians, we're talking about plumbers, we're talking about transporters, we're talking about that whole space has jobs, right? Number 2, you had peers here, Tanui say, talk about the digital space. That digital space has another almost 1 million jobs. And it is the reason why, if you read our manifesto, we said that we are going to have 100,000 kilometers of fiber optic backbone around Kenya. Every ward in Kenya is going to have an ICT hub. Because that space of digital jobs is a real space that can give us opportunities for Kenyans to work. Last week, I'm not talking about last year, I'm not talking about last month, I'm talking about last week. I was in Ruto, where we were commissioning a BPO that is going to hire 5,000 Kenyans. One BPO. The same facility, and they're going to be doing online jobs. That particular BPO by CCI has JetBlue, AT&T, all American companies. Kenyans will be working from Ruiru for American companies here. That same company in the next 2 years will be hiring 20,000 Kenyans. That one company called CCI. And we have many of them who we are working with so that we can create those spaces, not just in Nairobi, not just in Ruiru, but all the other towns in Kenya. Because in the admission of the director of CCI, he said that working with Kenyans, they work in many countries, but they have the best human capital in Kenya. So while others have gold and what, we have the best jewel that anyone can have, our human capital. And we must leverage on it to drive our economy. Number 3, you heard my peers here talk about this, what she's doing with the diaspora. We are in the process of signing 19 bilateral labor agreements with different countries. We just concluded a bilateral labor agreement with Germany. Rosalind was in Germany. Are we done? We are done. Yes. And they have promised us 250,000 jobs. We have 19 others that we are negotiating. I am very happy that you have given me an assignment that when I meet President Joe Biden of America, you have told me you want H1A and H1B and others. Okay? That's kwani mulikuwa mnafikiri nimekuja hapo kufanya nini? Na mnajua mimi si mtalii. Si mmenipatia assignment. Sasa hiyo ndio kazi nimekujia. Are we together? And we want to work together so that the best asset that we have as a country, our human capital, we can use it to drive the economy of our country, and we can use it to make sure that citizens have incomes and they can run their affairs. So that is another assignment that I have with many other countries to make sure that because we have the best human capital, let us deploy it. But on that subject of creating jobs, number 4, as you are all aware, I'm going to be having a conversation with Congress on the Africa Growth and Opportunities Act, what we call AGOA. Today, we export $500 million, which is about 60-70 billion of products into the US. I will be pushing for the renewal of AGOA, and I will also be pushing for STEEP, the Strategic Trade and Investment Partnership, so that we can have a bigger share, quota-free, duty-free to the American market. As I talk to you here today, I was in Athi River. I think that was with the ambassador of the US. We were in Athi River because there are 5 other companies that are coming to Kenya with 25,000 jobs in the space of apparels. And these good governors will tell you, we now have, and I was with the governor of Machakos, she's here. Yes, Wavinya is here. We were in that space about a month ago. And we now have 6 new special economic zones. We've just gazetted 6 new special economic zones, so that it is not the EPZ in Athi River alone. We will now have an EPZ in Busia, in Eldoret, in Nakuru, in Kirinyaga, in Mombasa, and we are exploring, CS Miano is working with other governors so that we can have enough special economic zones for us to enhance our exports. Those spaces will be for us to create more jobs. So, I'm asking you, good people, because I can talk to you for long, but I'm asking you, as you hustle here in a great country, remember that you have a home to build, and let us work together in making sure that we build that home. Hiyo kazi tutafanya pamoja. Nyinyi mko tayari tufanye hiyo kazi jameni? Let me conclude by saying that I think those are the things I wanted to say. Let me also say this one more thing, that actually two more things. That for us to be able to do this, we must develop two things. We must develop a culture of saving so that we reduce on the money that we borrow. Let me tell you this. We spend close to 800 billion shillings every year in paying monies we borrowed from others. I wish we were paying that 800 billion to Kenyans who have saved and we are borrowing their money to drive our economy. I promised you that we are going to change the way we are saving. You know, for a very long time, we were saving 200 shillings. A long time, since independence until late last year, 200 shillings per month. Nyinyi mnajua shilingi 200? What can 200 shillings do? 200 shillings. Ati hata mimi rais, mina save 200 shillings. Hiyo ni ujinga. Ama ni nini hiyo? So I said we are going to change this. Today, you know, we had a big quarrel with many people, including Atwoli and others and who. But I told them, look, we must, let me put it this way. Kenya was rated among the countries that are almost at the bottom on matters age-old poverty. Because if you are saving 200 shillings, the day you retire, you will be paid 40,000 or 70,000. 70,000 within 2 weeks, your pesa imeisha, and you go straight into poverty and you die. So what have we done? We changed the law. Now every Kenyan is saving 6% of their earnings, and every employer is also paying 6% of their earnings. I am very confident that in the next 15 years, all the money we are borrowing, we will not be borrowing money from China and this other place and that other place. We will be borrowing money from our own savings. Nyinyi mnanielewa? Imagine for 60 years, we have only saved 320 billion. 60 years, kwa sababu ya kusave 100, sijui 200, sijui ngapi. But the good news, in the next 4 years, maybe less, maybe 3 years and some months, we will have doubled the money we have saved for 60 years. We will double it in 3 years. We have increased, mnataka mnisikize vizuri. We have increased our savings every month from 1.3 billion to 7.5 billion. And there is no miracles required. It's just firm, decisive, clear leadership, period. Hakuna miujiza inatakikana. We just need to make the right decisions. The other thing which I want you to help me with is to ask us as Kenyans, the responsibility to build Kenya is ours. We are the people responsible for Kenya. Kenyans are the people responsible for Kenya. This country, you have seen the roads in this country. Si wao ndio. Sasa nyinyi mnafikiri ati Kenya itajengwa na wa Chinese ama itajengwa na Wamarekani? Si sisi ndio tutajenga. So tafadhali, you people who have a payslip here, payslip yenu iko na mlolongo ya taxes ama hakuna? Na ni fupi ama ni mrefu? Alafu si mlolongo ya taxes ni mrefu hapa. That is how you build a country, my friends. You don't build a country because of debts. Ati kukopa hapa na kukopa pale. You build your country using your own taxes. So, muniite Zakayo, muniite nini, lakini tulipe tax tujenge Kenya. Ama mnasemaje? Tuko pamoja? So tafadhali mwambieni wale ndugu zetu wako nyumbani, mwambie hapa mnalipa tax. Na mnalipa tax kwa nchi ambayo si yenu. Ama? Yes. So tufanye hivyo, so that I want to say it is the most patriotic thing to do. It is the biggest defense you have for your independence, is to pay tax and build your country. The assurance I have given the people of Kenya is that their money must be safe. Their money must be used for what it is intended to do. It is even the reason why 2 weeks ago I operationalized the Public Benefits Organizations Act, so that we can get more people even from the civil society wakuja wa supervise wakora, so that kama kuna wakora huko ndani watangazwe, tuwapeleke kotini na tuwafunge, so that Kenya iweze kusonga mbele. That's what I'm saying. Mumenielewa? Hivyo ndio mimi nataka tusaidiane tuchenge Kenya jameni. Tutasaidiana hivyo? Yes, that's how we are going to have a country. That's how we are going to build Kenya. And that is my mission in this great country. I just promise you, mimi nataka niwaahidi tu kitu kimoja. I will make you guys proud. Hiyo ndafanya bidii. Ndasukumana kabisa na hii kibarua, ndasukumana mbaya sana. So otherwise I want to say to appreciate the invitation by President Joe Biden and the American people to me. I know it's a great honor that I become an African state, head of state to receive such an invitation in almost 2 decades. It shows the strength of the partnership between Kenya and the US, and it also demonstrates the respect that the US has in the people of Kenya. And therefore I want to say I am very proud that I am here this evening. If you find me a bit not very coherent, it is 4 a.m. at home. Sasa naongea lala, lakini kwa sababu naona hata nyinyi mmeng'ang'ana, mmekuja kwa wingi, and I'm told you've come from different towns. I really, really want to appreciate that you have found time to come and share these moments with me. And I want to assure you that as a team, we're going to work hard. We're going to make sure that we make a difference in our country. So, and we need your support. Maybe we are beginning to the early stages. Maybe in a year or so, we might have an opportunity to have a diaspora bond, so that you people can invest. Sindio? Already you know the Nairobi Stock Exchange, if you don't have the news, it was the least performing, but today it is the best performing in the world. Nairobi Stock Exchange. So kama uko na marupurupu kidogo, utajua vile ya kufanya, si ndio? There is a good investment opportunity back at home. So otherwise, I know many of the other issues will be answered by Roslyn and her team at the Diaspora Department. They're doing a good job. I know many of you consular services, I know sometimes you ask about taxation back at home. I want to assure you that the law in Kenya today gives you a tax rebate. If you are paying taxes in America, those taxes you pay here, we will not require you to pay at home. Because we do not want to tax a Kenyan twice. If you have paid here, you cannot pay there. That is how we have changed the law. But we want you to come home so that you can come and pay taxes at home so that we can. So otherwise, I am truly grateful for the moments that we have shared today.